Hello everyone. Today is the 4th of September of 1960. My name is Elisa, and yesterday I was talking with my husband about the prohibition in the United States. For those who don't know what is this, I'm going to say its meaning. The prohibition was a measure taken principally by the Senate in the 20th century in order to reduce drinking in the US population. They proposed the 18th Amendment and took away license to do business from the brewers, distillers, vintners, and the wholesale. Besides, it raised a league that was called the Anti-Saloon League that had branches with some churches in order to make stronger the prohibition fight. For me, this was a drastic measure. I was 20 years old when all this happened, and I thought that it was the perfect time to party and have a good time. With the prohibition, all of this was gone. So I got really upset. After a few days, I finally accepted and continued with my normal life. However, 40 years later, after talking with my husband, we arrived to the conclusion that we are against. I'm going to develop three main ideas that support it. The prohibition was working well for the first days, but a few months later, things were turning its way back because a growth in loneliness was presented. As people weren't allowed to drink, illegal alcoholic beverages were sold in clandestine places called saloons. For me, this is worse than drinking because not only places like this emerge, but gambling, cockfighting, and prostitution. It is so surprising how a movement that tried to make the US a better place finishes as the responsible of converting the country in an organized system of illicit traffic and demoralized place. By the other side, prohibition caused a huge loss of tax revenue. Places where alcohol was sold legally were closed, and many people lost their jobs. Gangsters started to gain power because they sold alcoholic beverage in big prices. So instead of having a fair distribution of the economy, the society was having an unfair one. Fiorella Guardia talks about this by saying, "It is my calculation that at least $1 million a day is paid in graft and corruption to federal, state, and local officers. Such a condition is not only intolerable, but is demoralized and dangerous to organized government." I agree with her. She is giving another strong idea that makes me want to continue with my position. Finally, I don't tolerate the idea of people making their own stills with the purpose of earning money, and what is worse, doctors making prescriptions with no reason. Blue Tech and moonshine were the most common home drinks. The problem with them was that those types of drinks were extremely harmful for the body. Besides, having a carefree doctor makes the situation worse, so having people dying for intoxication is not fair. I think that without prohibition, things like prostitution, clandestine places, dangerous drinks, carefree doctors, unfair distribution in the economy, inconformity, and demoralized society had not risen as the way they rised. When the prohibition ended, it was evident that a more peaceful society was emerging. This is something to think about. Every time that we want to apply a rule in a place or in a situation, we have to have in mind all the consequences that it will cause. We don't want things to get worse as they get with the prohibition, so use all the capacities in order to establish a viable rule. Thanks for listening. Bye!